In this session, we are going to cover how you can build the pricing engine calculator using the calculator parameters method only. Along with it, it will be using the multiple quantity fields. This lesson assumes that you are familiar with building the pricing engine with the different methods as per in the previous training sessions. As you can see, in this session, we are going to build a product that is a digital color copies which has multiple quantities. So one is for number of copies, number of pages, and number of sites. We also have the paper choice, folding, collating, and stapling options. This session is going to be a bit advanced than other two previous training sessions. Let's start building the pricing engine. We are at the administrative area of the Procero. So we will go to the Preferences, Pricing Engine, Add New, Calculator, and let's say Digital Color Copies. Click on New Calculator. You will see a form-like options that has 5 quantity parameters, 5 grid, and 5 calculator. In this section, we are going to touch the quantity parameters and the calculator parameters and going to skip this area. In this section, we are going to have multiple quantity fields. So let's say number of copies or sets. We will also have number of pages and number of sites. These are the labels that the end user will see while they are on the product page. This time, it is going to be the arbitrary quantities. That means they can enter anything that they want, and which is the reason we are not going to define any ranges here. So I will just say 19999, and for the number of pages I will say 199999. For the sites, it will be either 1 or 2. We are going to skip the grid parameter section in this session and we'll scroll down where we will have paper choice, 80 pounds, gloss text, 100 pounds, gloss text. We will also have some additional options. One such option will be clicks, but this will not be visible to the end user. So site 1, site 2. This is going to be the additional charge that the user will go through. However, this option will not be available while they order a product on the product page. Then we have collating, stapling, and the last option will be folding. Let's start giving the options for each. So it will be none, half fold, tri-fold, and Z-fold. For collating, it will be yes and no. And for stapling, it will be none and the top left corner. All the details are entered here. Let's start generating the Excel file. It will validate the entire data, and accordingly, if everything is correct, then it will generate an Excel file. Now you can see you have multiple quantity parameters and all the options are here within the calculator area. There is no grid section in this Excel sheet. So for quantities we have Q1, which is number of copies, for Q2 number of pages, and number of sites for Q3. We are going to charge based on the per clicks basis. So we will be using these multiple quantities and will driving the formulas for these quantities for individual choices. Now we have paper choice, clicks, folding, collating, and stapling. Let's start with the first option, which is the paper choice. We have two options, which is 80-pound gloss text and 100 pounds gloss text. We want the user to see this option, hence the show as option will be yes. Since we are charging on per clicks basis, so the applies to sections will have a little bit different, not on the quantity one. It will be number of copies multiplied by number of pages. So it would be Q1 into Q2. The billing type would be a single unit, and the cost per billing unit I'm going to charge 0.1 cents. For 800 gloss text, the applies to section will have the same formula, which is the number of sets multiplied by number of pages, single unit, and this time it will be 0.02 cents. I'm going to skip the clicks part for now and will scroll down to the folding options. The first option is none, so we are going to leave this as it is. However, I want to charge for half fold, trifold, and Z-fold differently, so let's start with the half fold option. It will be based on the number of sets, 1000 units. This time we are going to give the setup cost, which is $7, and we'll also charge $5 as the cost per billing unit. For the trifold, it will again be 1000 unit. Setup cost is 10, and the cost per billing unit is also 10. I want to give the same options for Z-fold, so it would be 1000 unit, setup cost 10, and the cost per billing unit is 10. For collating, we have two options, which is yes or no. Hence, for the no options, we are going to keep as it is. But for the option yes, we are going to have it as flat rate and an additional cost of $10. The last option is stapling, which is none. We are going to keep as it is. But for the top left corner, let's start with single unit, a setup cost of $5, and will charge at 0.1 cents. If your service provider is using the integrated method, we are also going to apply the per thousand weight here. So let's say 1, 2 for this options, and hence by you can apply the per thousand weight if your service is using the integrated shipping method. Let's switch back to the clicks option. These two options I don't want user to see while ordering a product, but internally want to charge them based on the number of clicks. So the show as option will be no for these two. This time for side 1, it would be again the number of sets into the number of pages. So it would be Q1 into Q2 would be single unit, and I will charge $30. For side 2, it would be bit different. As you can see, the Q1 is for sets, Q2 is for sheets, and Q3 is for the sides. For the first side, we have applied Q1 into Q2, which is the number of sets into the number of sheets. 20 multiplied by 12, that is 240 clicks at 30 cents per click, that is $72, which is correct. But for the side 2, it would be a bit different. Let's give it a trial. If the Q1 into Q2 works for the side 2 as well. So for side 2, the Q1 into Q2 will be 20 multiplied by 12, that is 240 clicks, which is fine if they respond Q3, that is the sides, as 2. But if they respond the Q3 as 1, we don't want to charge them more money for the click that were already considered in the first step, that is the first side. So let's try something else. Let's apply the formula, which is Q1 into Q2 into Q3. If the Q3, that is the sides, is equals to 1, it will be 20 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 1, which is 240 clicks. But we have already taken much money for one-sided. If they respond Q3 as 2, which is side 2, it will be 480 clicks, which is way too much. So we have to think differently, and this time the formula needs to be applied differently. Let's give it a trial. We need to do nothing if they answer 1 to Q3 and just need to take another 240 clicks if they respond 2 to Q3. So let's apply it differently. It would be Q1 into Q2, and this time we are going to say Q3 minus 1. If they respond to Q3 as 1, which is 20 multiplied by 12, 1 minus 1, which is 0, so it will be 0 clicks, which is correct since we have already charged for the first side. But if it is 2, 20 multiplied by 12, and 2 minus 1, which is 1, which is again 240 clicks if they respond to Q3 as 2, which is correct. Let's switch back to the Excel sheet. So for the side 1, which is I'm going to apply to Q1 into Q2. But for side 2, since we have applied the formula Q1 into Q2 into Q3 minus 1, so we are going to look for that formula. I do not see that formula in the drop down. Hence, in order to apply the custom formula, you will need to scroll down a bit and you will see all the possible options which are appearing in the drop down. So I will type, manually add one formula, which is Q1 into Q2 into Q3 minus 1. Scroll up back again, and now let's look for that formula. You will see whatever formula that you have applied in the below section, you will see in the drop down. This will also be at the single unit, and I'm going to charge $22 for this. You need to make sure that the formula that you apply here are appropriate and correct and giving the price as per the expectations. So if you don't see any options that are available in the applies to section, you can always scroll down and make your own custom formula in order to provide the accurate price. My sheet is ready, hence I can go ahead and upload this sheet in my pricing engine. Click on Save, and you can look for your pricing calculator that is using the calculator method only. Okay, we are still seeing the options, which is clicks, but we need to hide this option here. Let's go back and save this sheet again, cancel, and re-upload the sheet. Okay, as you can see, you have all the necessary and the required options, and the price is also coming, but you do not see the options clicks since we are charging it internally. So you have all the three quantities, the paper choice, the folding options, collating, and stapling. You can also test by applying the arbitrary quantities and you will see the price is getting auto-calculated here. If you feel that your pricing engine is correct and accurate, you can always assign it to the product by going to the sites and assign it to the respective pricing engine. Thank you.